Right, let's get to the story. Paul's just attaching his headphones. You don't really need those headphones, but, you know, it makes you feel professional, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, good evening.
That's it. So it's a really lovely story, and I think the best way of doing this is handing the mic over to you to explain the scenario, the story.
Yeah, so Dad and I, as father and son, found a great connection through Forest, being Forest season ticket holders. I remember our first season in 1981. Dad had got high mortgages, Mum and Dad got high mortgage, and we couldn't afford to get in the game. So I don't know if you know, but they used to wait till 20 minutes before the end of the game, and then they'd open the gates, and you'd run up to the back of the main stand, which it was called in them days, obviously Peter Taylor stand now, and we'd watch the last 20 minutes of the game. So that was my introduction to Nottingham Forest. Dad and I got the bug for it.
I remember doing that in the late 80s, 90s, like really little, but I remember, going in at the end going, wow.
It's great. And honestly, you just felt so lucky to be part of it. You know, the stewards were like, you know, trying to hold the gate back as we were trying to get in. Come on, let us in. So, yeah, the first season was great. We were lucky enough to see some awesome players.
Do you remember that first time you did it, the team were playing?
Yeah, we got like Paul Hart, Ian Bowyer, the likes of, you know, some of the European players that had hung on by then. I think the careers were getting into latter stages, without being too unkind. But you know what, we did miss out, obviously, just on that fantastic era. You know, with Brian Clough and all that stuff. But yeah, he certainly made up for it with the memories that he built for us throughout the 80s and 90s, ending up at Wembley, you know, sort of obviously the FA Cup final in 91. We were sat by the tunnel when Paul Gascoigne was carried off, so Dad and I were just, you know, we were there together.
What were you shouting at him?
So yeah, I think like most Forest fans, they thought he should have had at least 2 red cards, you know, for the tackles that day, and obviously it's quite apt that referees are under a lot of scrutiny at the moment in the game. So yeah, it's but yeah, just so many fantastic memories. Watching Roy Keane come through, watching Lee Chapman score at Wembley, you know, but these are just like magnificent times. Watching our very own, obviously, Brian Laws as well, you know, battling away. So yeah, just so lucky to see some great memories. And I mean, and as you mentioned in the intro, that day at Wembley, we just had, what a day that was. You know, we were sat there the September before thinking, you know, a few years back, thinking, you know, we're going to go down again. And then that magnificent man, Stevie Cooper, came along. And he's just done for me and for my dad just more than you can put into words, really, to give us that special day hand in hand at Wembley with the national anthem playing. It was just brilliant, and you know, the tragic journey that Dad's had, and obviously having Alzheimer's for 6 years and watching his deterioration to where he is right now has been so sad. But you know, to give us that, he was just incredible enough. If I could shake anybody's hand, it'd be Stevie Cooper. What a legend, what a bloke.
I'm sure we can sort something out, we'll see. It's special you say that, and it's always lovely when we have memories with loved ones, and I think that Wembley day, a lot of people talk about that, and I do too. I remember being in the fan zone before at Wembley, just looking around, but recognising so many people, do you know, going, these are the people that you go through this absolute nonsense with week in, week out. Yeah. And you build this connection with them, whether it be a nod of the head, an hello, or whether or not you share a beer together or something. It's something special. And there were tears in everyone's eyes that I remember just looking around going, this is what we've always wanted and stuff. And it's really emotional. And the amount of people I know that went with friends, but families. And it was special. So for you and your dad, specifically, given what he's been going through, I can only imagine that was just extra.
Oh, it was incredible, because where he was at that point, deteriorating that particular day, he couldn't stand sort of staying over in London overnight, either the night before or the night after. So we started our journey at 7 o'clock in the morning, got down to Wembley, we were listening to the national anthem at 10 o'clock in the morning, the lady rehearsing it and all that stuff. So we started really early, and we finished quite late, as most Forest fans did that day. But yeah, to just be with him that day, I mean, you know, it brings a tear to my eye right now, if I'm honest. You know, you know, we had 91 and we stood together. Dad was in a different place then. He's a senior social worker for Nottinghamshire County Council, and actually sadly worked with the families at Hillsborough in the gym, and so to stand there in '91 and hold his hand and listen to Abide With Me, for instance, and a very special moment, but to get that again all them years later, and not I mean, that day was so special, but that whole season, I mean, Jed Spence crashing one in the top corner, Jack Colback and with his great sort of cross shot,
West Brom,
just so many great times watching Surridge getting his another 4 goals or whatever it was on across, just amazing times. But yeah, you just Wembley was so special, and to go to the new Wembley as well. I think if you remember, with Forest fans, we were getting to be in the last sort of cohort of people and teams that went to Wembley.
Yeah,
I think we got down to about 8 or 9 before we went. So to finally get there that day, and yeah, like you say, just seeing people on Wembley Way, friends and family and different people that you shared a pint with over the years. We've gone through decades of heartache. Colin Frey's nursed us through, the good and the bad, and to actually hear him, the commentary. I quite regularly listen to that commentary of that day, actually, because it really cheers you up. And again, going back to Dad, which this is all about, is to put some of them memories back on when I go around and see him. We put on several and talk about lots of different Forest memories and all the great times we've had, and some of the lows. We remember the 14,000 supporters there on a January evening under Dougie Freedman. No disrespect to him, but the club wasn't in a great place at that point. And so to have the ups and downs, and maybe people who don't follow football don't really understand it, but people who do really get it and get what we went through.
What has Forest done for your dad, given his condition and how he's been over the last few years? Is it like this constant in his life that it just helps him through?
It does, and I think the parallels for me between Stevie Cooper and my dad is the word togetherness. My dad has always loved his family, he's always loved his friends, and he's always talked about togetherness. And if you listen to any Stevie Cooper interview, that's the one word that he mentions quite often. So to me, I don't know Stevie Cooper, the guy, but they do feel there's a bit of a parallel there, so it's quite heartwarming for us. And Dad, winding it right back to the Cloughie days, some of the stuff he came out with, some of his legendary quotes, they just make Dad laugh now, and he's not able to converse like we are today, but I can sort of remind him that Rome wasn't built in a day, for instance.
So try and get into his condition, where it started 6 years ago to where he is now.
Yeah, so part of my fundraising walk and my next month, obviously, I'm walking from Land's End to John O'Groats, and part of my thinking there is that I want to help raise funds for them, because the problem with my dad, he has had Alzheimer's for 6 years, and we saw deterioration, and there's certain things that have happened along the way that are quite tragic, and we were sort of fumbling as a family, not knowing where to go to, and so we only got diagnosed 2 years ago. So the first 4 years as a family, we were struggling, particularly my mother as a carer, as she's become, wondering what the hell was going on when certain things were happening. So I'm working with the Alzheimer's Society at the moment, and the People's Postcode Lottery. We're going to be doing some filming with Dad starting next week, to do some adverts to help people recognise when loved ones are becoming ill. They're not becoming difficult, they're not becoming a problem, it's the becoming ill, and people aren't recognising that. There's more people every day being diagnosed with Alzheimer's more than cancer. With respect to cancer, the majority of the scanners are used for cancer patients, and 90% are used for cancer patients, as I say, with respect. So we need to urge the government to purchase more scanners so we can get earlier diagnosis, so it means that people can get medications. So I don't know if you've heard in the press, but there's one called donanemab and there's one called lecanemab, and the two drugs that are being trialled currently, and from what I'm hearing from the Alzheimer's Society, it could be near that really great news we all hear, to say that if you get a diagnosis, you could take medication and eventually these things can be treated like asthma would be treated, or diabetes. This is what we're trying to do. So we're really sort of getting close to it. So as I say, if you could get behind me, if you want to check me out, I'm on YouTube. I'm the Hiking Ginger. It's a bit more grey than ginger these days, Aaron.
Well, I tell you what, look, we spoke about the condition. I wanted to try and do this in a couple of parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a track, and then the other side of that, we'll find out more about your walk, what's going on, how you can fundraise, how you can help, and all the rest of that. Control, you're listening to Aaron on BBC Radio Nottingham. This is In the Game. I'm joined this evening by Paul Lindsay, who's sharing his story of his dad's story of Alzheimer's and why he's doing this charity walk, what they're hoping to raise money for, and he's gone into detail about the Alzheimer's charity and what they want their money to go towards. We've also shared some Forest stories, and during that song, as I know all of you do, as soon as you get a moment, you go, let's talk football. And we've done that. So, Paul, we'll talk football very, very shortly, because it's been an interesting 24 hours for Nottingham Forest. But first, your walk then. So when does it start? When are you doing it?
So start on the Sunday, the 21st of April this year. I've been planning this for 18 months. I've been sat at a computer many a night planning the maps, the routes. I use on OS Maps. This is uploaded onto my Garmin, which is like a walking version of what you've got in your car, basically. This will guide me the 20 miles every single day. It's Land's End. So it's Land's End. We start Land's End. Me and my brother-in-law are driving down the day before, staying at the Land's End Hotel. I want to go down onto the...
Make sure you don't have too many beers that day before.
I tell you what, I think we're going to have to limit it to 2.
Yeah. You get carried away and go, this is going to be a great adventure. You wake up the next day going, I can't do it.
I said to my brother-in-law, I might just use the 2 months to go to the Wetherspoons in Newquay. Yeah. And then just get the train up. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm not going to advocate it, but I think it'll be a good fun.
Yeah, starts at Land's End, so we're going to get started nice and early that morning. My cousin David Lindsay is looking after all the IT stuff, and as I say, I mentioned the videos he's going to be putting up on YouTube and looking after all the social media stuff, so all you good people in Nottingham can follow the journey. The first night I think I'm staying in the middle of some woods, an old fort. And so it's just wild camping. I've got a one-man tent. I'm just on my own, and another cousin's arranged a brass band concert in Yorkshire that night. So what it is, it's a festival of different events. When I get to Taunton, I've got 8 Royal Marines walking with me, marching with me along the way. When I get up to Yorkshire, I've got 30 Boy Scouts again coming along the trail with me. So this thing is really gathering pace now. So if anybody wants to join me, I'm just literally mean it. If you want to come and join me for a section of this walk, when I get up to the Midlands, I go through Staffordshire. I think the nearest place I get to is a place called Stone in Stoke-on-Trent, and then before we hit the Pennine Way and up through the side of Manchester and all that stuff. So yeah, I could rabble on about this mapping all night.
But that's the whole point of you being on here, to talk about it. Okay. Why did you decide that route?
So this is obviously a more direct route. The actual mileage, I set out obviously 1,200 miles, but the actual route, because I'm going direct across Cornwall and Devon, and then when I get up to Fort William in Scotland, I go northeast and I go on the Great Glen Way. So this is working out 1,053 miles. So I'm losing 150 off there already. But to say it's 20 miles a day. This takes I've been obviously training a lot. This takes between 6 and 8 hours to walk. I've got a 10 kg pack on my back that I'll be carrying throughout the journey. So some nights I've had friends sort of book hotels and say, look, I'm not buying you 50th birthday present, I'm buying you a hotel bed instead. So them nights I don't have to pitch my tent. It'll be quite luxurious, really. I can wash my clothes, get a wash and all that type of thing, but all the elements of it. I mean, I've even been down to Colic Park bathing in the Trent to get used to sort of washing.
Cold water therapy.
Yeah, cold water therapy. Some, with the Trent, sometimes you wonder if you come out a bit dirtier, but it's about keeping your body fresh. Obviously, all the clothes I'm wearing are high performance, light clothes that will dry very quickly. I've been lucky enough to get a sponsorship from some local businesses as well who are supplying foods for me that I can carry along the way. I'm having drop boxes every week, so I can pick up all my supplies and put in stuff into my water supplies to ensure that I've got good hydration and all that type of stuff. So honestly, Aaron, for the last 18 months, there's not a day I haven't thought about this walk. I put so much into it.
I love that.
So.
And I love that. Planning. Oh, yeah, you got to plan these things. You can't just do it on a whim. Yeah. What about training? You've been training hard?
So training's been very hard. I really went for it last summer with friends. I did the multiple 6 days of walking 20 miles while camping along the way. But as you can appreciate...
How does it feel walking 20 miles? Because in my head, right, I'm going...
Yeah.
I'm not. No, but I'm going. Yeah, I reckon I could do that. But I know there'd be things that you'd pick up, or you'd wake up after day one going, my legs hurt.
Yeah, I mean, in answer to your question, what it is Dad and I used to be in the Bingham Running Club, and so we used to run, marathons and half marathons. We used to be running 6 times a week, so we were extremely fit. Then I become a dad, and I gradually got the dad bod. So I know there's a runner underneath there as there is my dad. So I was lucky enough to get that, and for much of it is definitely about fitness, but also it's about the mental strength. And so in answer to your question, to do 20 miles every day, I can do that. I've walked down from Radcliffe now. It's as if I've just walked to the shops. It's not a problem. I'm lucky enough, touch wood, to never have hip or knee problems. But on another note, and bring a bit of humour into it, I do have to chuckle when colleagues at work moan about the car park being closed downstairs at Trembridge House, and they've had to walk 50 yards around the corner. So that one always gets me a little bit. But everybody's got the strengths and weaknesses. So.
How many sort of calories would you burn?
So my sister's calculated all this for me as a personal trainer, and as a male, my age, 2,200 a day, and it'll be an additional 1,200. But what happens is your body does actually get used to that 20 miles a day once you get into it. So you do need to lower that. So I don't want to end up at the finishing post like 2 stone heavier than I am now. So it's quite a balance. And for what I understand as well, when I finish the walk, I will have to really just continue to sort of wind it down from there, because apparently people have done it before and have had sort of cramps in the legs for days and days afterwards. So it's all that planning, like you say. Whatever element of it is, it's plans, and ultimately my sister said to me, what will keep you going? And I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but it'll be Dad.
How many hours a day are you going to be walking?
So 5 to 7 hours, depending on the inclines, depending on the gradients. Some of the Pennine Way's quite hilly. So is some of the Great Glen Way as well. But yes, all them factors come into it. Obviously, the weather comes into it as well. But followed the weather obviously last April and sort of comparing stuff, and obviously it does pick up quite nicely. I've actually found that the worst days are the hot days. And the last summer, I'd go out and do 24 miles. I put on the social media there, and I think I drank 4.5 litres of water in that day. So actually the hot days, so think about me on them hot days, even though you'll all be sunning it up with a beer in your hand, down Trent side, think about me on them days. But yeah, we'll do it, we'll do this. I
like your top right now. It's got some names on there, from the Chestnut, Humble Cat. Are these some of the sponsors that have got in?
Nottingham Air Conditioning, a local business. The Army Benevolent Fund.
Don't you about to say Fowers Air Conditioning there?
No need to swear.
Got the big screens.
Oh, we did. That was the only thing we got, wasn't it? And but I've been lucky enough for many businesses to get behind me, support me. Just so many kind people out there, kind gestures. No matter what it is, just people are so good. The Royal Oak Pub in Radcliffe-on-Trent, they've been doing a quiz. And it finishes on the 28th, the day before Good Friday, and it's virtually going to make £1,000.
That's amazing.
To put onto my page.
Which one's the Royal Oak?
The one's on the main road, in Radcliffe. Just go past the co-op on the right.
Yeah,
probably left from where you come in.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking the co-op on the right, and then you go up that street, because then you got the Radcliffe at the top of that.
That's it, yeah. So we're lucky enough, we've got the Chestnut, the Radcliffe, we've got really lucky that we've got some nice watering holes in Radcliffe.
Yeah, the Radcliffe is, obviously I like all of them equally. Yeah. But the Radcliffe's part of that chain, isn't it, with the railway?
Yeah, I think my wife went to school, is it Paul Osborne? I think the owner is, and she went to school with him. And he owns the railway at Loudham, is it?
Yeah, I was just so happened to be there on Sunday, in fact.
Oh, was it good?
I love all the pubs equally in Nottinghamshire, Paul. As Mickey, we're there. Right, if people want to follow your journey, are you going to be documenting it as you go?
Yeah, so as I say, I'm going to be uploading a short video every day to a Dropbox that will go straight to my cousin. He'll be uploading these onto YouTube. As I say, it's Hiking Ginger. If you want to follow them, please subscribe. Obviously, that's free of charge, and you can follow every single day. put comments into the description, different things, and let's have a chat as well. So that'll keep me going at night when I'm in my tent and I'm all alone. So it's like really good. We want to get good coverage for it, because I just think if we can really tap into different areas, Cornwall and Devon, for instance, and all the places that I'm going to be walking through, let's try and do like a mini version of what Ian Botham did in 1985, and he's the guy that inspired me to do this. I used to race home from school and see that man doing that. I think he set out to make £100,000, and I think he made millions. And he met Elton John along the way, but I'm not asking for Elton John. I just want Stevie Cooper.
I'm thinking about I'm just thinking about if Beefy inspired you to do anything else, but I think we should save that for a late night show. I'm going to play some music from Daft Punk, and then we can get to it. We can talk Forest. Time you're listening to Aaron on BBC Radio Nottingham. This is In the Game. This evening you've been meeting Paul Lindsay. He's now only 6 weeks away from his charity walk for his dad and Alzheimer's. We've spoken about his father. We've spoken about the relationship they both have with Nottingham Forest, the walk itself, how you can help, how you can donate. I'll go back to that very shortly, but right now, Paul, the moment you wanted, I think waited for, Nottingham Forest, hey? Yeah. What are you making of this season? It's been a rough 24 hours or so. Or has it?
Yeah, I've just cut straight to it. I'm in the camp that I just wanted Stevie Cooper to stay. And even if we went down, I think when you followed a club for a long time, you realise that it's a bit more than football. I think we'll be in a better place now. I'm nothing against Nuno, but I do think we'll be in a better place now. I agree with Darren Fletcher. That when he said that, I think some of the players that we had were the backbone of the club, the likes of Ryan Yates obviously being at the club anyway, Joe Worrell, that type of player who've got a background at the club. I really think that if we got that now, I'm not saying that these players don't connect and that they don't feel the same way about the club, but sometimes it's just like, I think you need a bit of that, particularly where we're in our development between. And what's come about, I remember in the summer, the fans expecting we were going to be mid-table and all that type of thing.
I did say Europe, to be fair.
Did you? Oh, blimey. Oh, okay.
Well, I just thought, why not get carried away? Same with everyone else.
Was that after a beer?
No, I don't think it was. It was after seeing some of the signings we were making, going, But in truth, I was looking at them on YouTube videos, thinking they looked decent.
Absolutely, and I think that's where you get taken away. I know my youngest son, he was like coming down, going, "Oh, Dad, we've just signed this player, Sangare, it's going to be amazing. This is going to be, real transition. We're going to be doing it and all this stuff." So I do think we've got some very good players, and I do think we'll stay up. I think it's great to get the points deduction out the way now. We can actually focus on the football.
As a fan, would you want Forest to appeal this, or do you say now 4 points? Don't want it to go any higher, obviously, which it could do in an appeal. Yeah. Take the 4 points, 1 point off Luton. Better Luton over 9 games.
I think we're all glad that we've the decision's been made. I'd personally just stick with a 4. Let's just knuckle down now. Let's focus on the football. Players get into training, get fit, get Taiwo back. He's shown what he can do. We've got Hudson-Odoi, absolutely amazing talent. Really get some confidence into these lads, and let's really see what we can do. Absolutely love Alanga. I mean, what a rapid player he is. We've just got to sort that finishing out, but if you could do that, what a rapid player he is.
Do you feel as connected with Nottingham Forest as you did 12 months ago?
No, I don't, and it's a real shame, because I think, to be fair to the club, during the Cooper time they did a lot to engage with fans. They've done a lot of stuff to first year back in the Prem, ticket prices were the same, so they've done a lot. I think they've had a lot to take on, obviously, with the stuff around the ground and all these sort of factors as well. So clearly they've had a lot on. I respect the club, and going back to the walk, they gave me a signed squad jersey that I auctioned off and got £500 for, would you believe?
Nice.
Unframed. So I'm really grateful to Forest in the community. So clearly we love our club, but come on, let's focus now. Let's knuckle down and let's focus on the football. And come on, Reds, let's get behind them.
Are we staying up?
We're staying up. Staying up. It's going to be close, but we're staying up. I think it could go to the last day. Can somebody let me know, though, please, because I'm on my walk.
How are you going to cope with that?
Oh, that's going to be really difficult.
You're going to hope you got a radio signal.
Yeah, I'm missing. I think I'm missing Man City, Chelsea.
I won't worry about the Man City game.
Yeah, that'll be done. But I mean, I don't know if I'll get Radio Nottingham from there, but I could give it a go.
We're on BBC Sounds, aren't we?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Oh, of course, yeah. So
depending on the kickoff time,
I will do. So I think them mornings I'll start off nice and early and get there so I can listen to Colin smiling as per usual and enjoy match day. So, but yeah, we're going to stay up. We're staying up.
Magic. And just finally, I didn't really delve into this too hard because you were telling the story. How is your old man now?
Yeah, he's not in a good way. You can actually see, having been very physically fit, you can see the Alzheimer's are really attacking him physically now. Obviously, he's had a brain fog for quite a long time, and he's regressed. But you know, the one thing, Aaron, is he's just always happy. He's a happy chappy. He's so nice, and it just shows you your personality never changes. He's just such a happy chap, But it's sad to see. We went out for a bit of tea last night. I picked him up. We went out, and as I say, when we sit together at Forest, and he just comes alive, shouts a bit out of kilter at times. You know, his comments, and probably at times he doesn't know which team Forest are. But
might be a good thing every now and then, eh?
But yeah, honestly, but for I'd say to any family or friends, you know, it's the long loss. It's a horrible journey for the person, obviously, and for the loved ones, to see your loved one deteriorate so much. So, you know, if anybody wants to reach out, send me a message, or even have a chat, you know, we can share the experiences we've had, and come on, let's help each other as we go forward.
So what's the best way to follow you and message
So the best
you?
way to follow me is it's Just Giving page is Paul Lindsay, but you've got to put in Alzheimer's after to find my page. We're on £6,500 at the moment. I'm trying to get £10,000. I'm told probably I'll crack that now, because apparently, you know, it should get some real traction once once I get walking. So, and then also, say, with regard to the social media stuff, is on YouTube, the Hiking Ginger, and just subscribe, follow the journeys. I'm going to be doing bits of kit reviews, I'm going to be doing build up stuff, and you might even see me the night before at Land's End Hotel.
Magic. Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks, Aaron.